Hi, my name is Taejha. I am mechanical engineer turned tech project manager, and I love aquafitness.
Hi, Tasia. So, Tasia,
Hello.
you're a mechanical engineer by trade, and you found your way into the tech sector. Can you tell me a little bit how a mechanical engineer finds their way into tech?
Sure. So I think I was actually thinking about this on my way here. There's the general story of, yeah, I did this in school and then I saw this job and I thought it was super cool because so I work at Carnegie Learning
Mhm.
and they make edtech products for kids to learn math in school. So I thought that was super cool and it was a project management role and I've done a lot of project management things before. So I just thought it was something that was right up my alley and that's basically how I ended up here. But to be honest, if we get down to the bottom line of it, I think it would be a passion for people that really brought me here. Because in project management, they always say there's three P's. There's the product, processes, and people. But without people, there's no processes. Without people, there's no product, and that's the core of really what drives things to move. And I just love having people maximize their potential, and so I think that's what really brought me here.
From your perspective, I guess working within a technical environment, but not necessarily having technical background. Yeah, what does that look like when people ask you? So, what are you doing in tech? How do you answer that? What does that look like for you?
I get that a lot because people are now seeing my face everywhere. So they're like, "Oh, you're the tech girl." And I'm like, not really.
Yeah.
So it always takes a bit of explaining. Because everybody has a place in the tech industry. It just means that it's an industry that's founded on programming and programmers and building technology. But there's a lot of other roles that can fit into that position and into the industry in general. Um, so that's generally where my explanation of it all comes from.
Hmm.
But in terms of the technical aspects, it's just a commitment to learning, I find. Because even in mechanical engineering, there's some aspects to coding and programming, but it's definitely nowhere near the level that I work with now.
Hmm.
But if you're committed to learning, there's a lot of avenues to just even understand enough so that you can help to move things along. There's a lot of things I know now that I probably would never have known if I didn't enter the tech industry. So
Mm. So I think I guess from your perspective, it's not necessarily a barrier.
no,
That's yeah.
definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. And I think people are generally willing to help. Like people will go out of their way to help you, to understand, to bring you up to speed where you need to be.
So I know that you have a strong passion for community as well. So outside of your role within Carnegie, you also kind of train as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and what that looks like?
Yeah. So one of those coding boot camps that we've done for kids, actually, I think maybe there was, let's say, about 30 kids there. And then in out of those 30, maybe 8 of them were teenagers. Out of that eight, about six of them got internships at Verifin from the work that we were able to help them teach them, the project that we gave them to work on, the mentorship that they were able to get from it. I'm really excited about people and their potentials and what they could produce.
Mhm.
Um, so I somehow I found myself into the entrepreneurship space. Even when I was in school, I did a lot of work with the MCE. Um,
Is that the Munn Center
Center
for
for
Entrepreneurship? Okay.
yes. And I was one of their student ambassadors, so we did a lot of advocacy around, pulled in a lot of people for the programs, helps out with their incubator. um, and it's one of the things that I'm still very super passionate about. So it's for example, right now I'm organizing an entrepreneurship workshop for immigrants and newcomers to St. John's, just to give them the skills, the resources, the knowledge to help them, um, to bridge that gap, to give them what they need to be able to create a startup if necessary, create a business to become an injection into the local economy. And it's because people come with different experiences, people come with different backgrounds, and even coming from a different country, your worldview is different. And I really believe that when we come together and we put our minds together, those experiences, those worldview, it can shape new realities for us, as a city, as a province, even across the nation. So that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. And I like just meeting people, hearing what they do, hearing their stories, and finding ways that they can fit into what the portrait of Newfoundland looks
Mm.
like.
Is this home for you? Have you grown up here? Were you born here? How did you also make
No,
your way
I'm
to
actually
Newfoundland?
from Belize and
Okay.
I moved to Newfoundland for school. For some reason, Memorial was sending people to recruit students from Belize. I don't know why they chose Belize because it seems super random. Um, but that's how I ended up here. And I was actually going to go to the University of Waterloo, but then at the last minute, I changed my mind and said I wanted to do an engineering degree. And this was the only place that I applied to for an engineering degree, and I didn't want to wait. So I said, okay, I'm coming here. And that's how I ended up here.
Huh. And so how long ago was that?
Almost 12 years, just under 12. Yeah.
And what has kept you here?
The community, I'd say. There's a lot of ways that Newfoundland is similar to Belize, I'd say. The warm culture is definitely a strong point. It's small, but I like small places. I'm not a big city girl, and I definitely say my church community. I've found what is my family in Newfoundland there. And so I don't find another reason to move. And I just think that Newfoundland has so many opportunities for people that come here.
Mm. And what advice do you maybe give to immigrants that are coming about finding either a job here or entering into the tech sector here?
About finding a job, it can be tough. I really do get it. It can be tough. Um, but I think that the place that innovation grows is where things are tight. When you lack resources, when things are a little bit harder than usual to do. That's where we find innovation. Many things are born out of that type of adversity. So
Mhm.
when someone is struggling to find a job, when they many times when they decide to build a business. What can I do? What skills do I have? And those are things you probably never would have explored. Um, if you had not been put in that situation. And while it sounds like a challenge, I think it's one of the benefits of Newfoundland. Things can look a little bit difficult sometimes, but that's where a lot of the best things of you can flourish. And aside from that, there's resources on top of resources. So look at what's around, meet people, network. Don't just stay in the little bubble and hope that something comes to you. Just take advantage of what's around you. In terms of the tech sector, I think it's just that you can really do anything in tech. It's an industry like any other. We need marketers, we need
Mhm.
project managers, we need accountants, we need whatever you could think of. Any business requires the same things as well. It's just we also need programmers because they're the core of what we do in the tech sector. But there's a place for you, so don't run away from it. Go out and meet people. There's a lot of events that happen in the tech sector. Sometimes and there a lot of them are free. Sometimes it's just we're doing a lunch and learn on this topic. Go to the lunch and learn and talk to somebody. Make one new contact. Find somebody that you can connect with on something. Or even if you don't even have you don't even yet see a direct need for having that contact. Just make it anyways, because you're never I think there's something my pastor always says, and he proves it right every time. You're never more than four people away from someone that you need. So, for example, if I need to get to Justin Trudeau, right, then
Mhm.
there's me, and then I might know one other person. That person might know one other person. That person might know and the fourth person is likely going to be the person that you need.
Mhm.
And every single time I've needed somebody, I was never more than four persons away from that person. So it's something I stick by, and I always tell people just go and meet people because even if you don't see what that need is right now, sometime down the road you might need that person. That person might need you for something, and you will be connected because of that. So I think my number one thing is just network.
Tasia, thank you so much for for sharing your experiences here. And like you, I hope that many more people continue to stay and make Newfoundland and Labrador their home.
Thank you for having me. It was really great.